Okay.
I wore this shirt since we're talking about the good news.
God is good all the time.
Being
And you lying.
Welcome to our recording studio.
Where are my headphones?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Midwest Buzz, and Merry Christmas week!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome back.
Yes, if you are listening on the day this comes out, it's Christmas Eve.
It's
Merry
Christmas
Eve.
If you're not, please laugh.
Yeah, sorry if you're listening to this after Christmas. So today's episode, we thought we would read through the Christmas story and kind of talk about it.
You're gonna get a JC and Olivia commentary.
Yeah, on the Christmas story.
Yes.
I mean, because we both grew up
Yeah, like
getting
normally,
religious,
as kids, I feel like it was always either like Christmas Eve or like.
We would do it on Christmas morning before we went down and saw our stockings a lot of the time.
That's fun. I think mine was usually Christmas Eve. We would usually read it. Or I feel like we would watch the Nativity story, that movie.
Oh yeah, that's more recent.
Or is it just The Nativity?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a decent movie.
I actually don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, really?
It's probably, I mean, to me that's like, well, that's more recent, but no,
it was probably like
12 years.
2010, which is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's like something I think of like we put on when I was like older.
As a
adult.
Teen. An adult.
Ew.
Anyway, so I just wanted to let you know what the episode's going to be about, even though you'll be able to tell by the title. But any life updates?
I'm doing a juice cleanse right now. Shout out to Juicebox Fargo.
And she didn't forget to wear her ring today.
I have my ring on. Don't fear. I also made Cole listen to last week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, go to the very end. You have to listen to what ChatGPT wrote about us. And he was like, oh my goodness.
He's like, how accurate?
I was laughing. I was like, oh, there are some things that are very accurate. And he was like, yeah.
That's funny.
Me being a control freak.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you.
Yes, speaking of which, the date is officially booked. May 3rd.
Now all of our viewers are going to come try to stalk you for your wedding. Okay.
Yes.
It's like how
please go to my TikTok.
Influencers never say the date because they worried that people will figure out where it is or whatever.
Fine, I'll leave you guys in suspense. I won't tell you where it is, but I'm also not really that worried.
No, I'm joking. Everyone who watches this is family, friends, or knows us.
Yeah, true.
You're probably not invited, but still. Just kidding.
I know. I was telling Cole we're gonna send out virtual. Oh, this is actually mean that I'm saying this. We're sending out virtual save the date Christmas cards.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna when we send it out, ask everyone for their actual physical mailing address so that we can send invites.
Yeah, because you guys send those in January or February, right?
No, that seems a bit.
It's 3 months before.
Oh gosh, I need to get to work. Anyway, yeah.
Maybe 2 months. If you send to save the date, I think you can send them closer to the actual wedding.
Probably 2.5 months though. You're probably right. I went and listened to our "You're Engaged Now What" the episode we had with Lindy.
Yeah.
And Cole was listening to it. We were driving, and so I was like, "Let's just put this on. It would be funny." And he goes, because it was recorded in 2021. This was a while ago.
Yeah, because it was the December of 2021 because she got married the August of 2022. It was
3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And something was said, and Cole goes, "Wow, things really haven't changed." And I was like, it was something of me bragging not so humbly or doing something. I was like, yep, not changed. But yeah, it was kind of fun to go back and listen to it though.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part I've been taking my own advice, so
good.
We're doing good. I was giggling though because we were roasting people for not having even amounts of bridal party. You were like, no.
Yeah, we can't stand it. Just have no bridal party. Okay, so but you guys are sending out virtual ones, asking everybody for their address.
Yes.
And you're being pretty stingy about who yours, right?
Yeah.
So as you should.
Because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna how some people post a save the date on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't talk about it, but I don't think I'm gonna do a mass save the date for Facebook.
No. Because you're not inviting all of
I
us.
have 2,200 friends on Facebook.
Remember when it was so cool to have a huge number of friends? Now I'm I'd be happy if I was down to 80.
It was up to 2,500 and I deleted 300
There's so many things where it's I worked with you at the airport. I have friends on Facebook from that. I knew you when I worked at camp. And it's some of them I'm still friends with, but some of them I'm I don't need to know
Well, mine's like, okay, I do close to, say on average, I do 50 seniors a summer.
They all
Half of
add
them
you.
add me every year. That's a lot of people after
Mhm.
sometimes. It's like, I don't keep up with everyone.
Yeah.
There are some of my seniors that I'm still very close with and, like,
Yeah.
see and, like talking to and
Like
stuff.
one of them might
But-
be your wedding photographer.
Right. But, and my other one's a videographer. No.
Yeah.
But then there's some where it's like, okay, they maybe drove from Watertown. Like, I just haven't, you don't
Yeah, you
see
don't
them
stay in
anymore.
contact,
You know, and
yeah,
it's like,
as much.
anyway. Along the story short guest list.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I mean, if you listen to last week's episode, JC wants to elope, so this is the compromise.
This is the compromise.
Yeah.
Yes, anything going on in your life?
Not really. Grant has been, I should have looked when he actually fell asleep, but he's napping right now, and he's been so good about just falling asleep on his own, which I know I said I wasn't going to talk about his sleep on here because I don't want it to get wrecked, but I am just so proud of him, and he's getting so big and doing so well, because bedtime was literally something that I dreaded because it took like an hour, and I would have to rock him to sleep, and it was my own doing of sorts, but after he started doing good before he got the chickenpox, and he got the chickenpox, and I was worried it was going to set us back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just has been great. Like, would fuss a little bit, but then just playing his crib. And he's gotten really good at just about, like, playing his crib. And honestly, part of it is these ornament animals that I got him for his ornament this year. He couldn't just pick one. He picked 5. And he carries them everywhere. They've been on his tree maybe twice. And he sleeps with them. So, and he, like, the other day, my dad put him down for a nap while my mom and I were out Christmas shopping. And he said that Grant just looked at him once he put him in the crib. And Dad was like, oh, right, the animals. And he went and he got them. And then Grant, like, laid down. And it was like, or so he played in his crib for a while. But
That's
yeah.
so crazy. That's
So-
a huge win, though.
Yeah. I'm like, if this makes you feel, like, more comfortable to,
Yeah.
yeah. And he just falls asleep on his own. And he's been sleeping through the night. He sleeps, like, 8 to 8.
Dang. Go
So-
Grant.
We're very happy in this house. It's the best Christmas present ever.
Right.
Sleep. As I'm about to have another baby. Sleep for a
Hey,
few
you got a few more months. What,
Yeah.
like 4?
The unfortunate part is that I'm pregnant, and so I wake up like twice a night.
Oh, I was like, that's not unfortunate, but
I mean, like, you don't sleep
Yeah.
super great when
I
you're
was
pregnant.
like, what?
No, that's what I meant. It's like sleep isn't great when you're pregnant.
Yeah. That's, I can't imagine. I don't remember the last time I've ever gotten up in the middle of the night to pee.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm a heavy sleeper.
Yeah. Adam, like, Adam, like, never.
Yeah. But I wonder, like, if I'm pregnant someday, if that would change.
Oh, for sure. It would absolutely. Because even if it doesn't hit you with the hormones right away, because mine, this pregnancy at least, was the hormones right away made me have to pee a lot. And maybe because I've already had a baby, my bladder's weaker. And then already, I feel like the way that she sits, sometimes if I lay on my sides, she must, like, rest on it somehow. I don't know, because it makes me have to pee a lot more. Also, I do chug a lot of water before I go to bed because it's just the time that I, like, get to intentionally drink. But later in pregnancy, you have no room. Your bladder gets smushed.
The later,
So
that
you
totally
would.
makes sense.
That would happen regardless.
Fun times.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's life.
Good.
It's good.
Sleeping, peeing.
Yes, I've been done with my Christmas shopping. All of my Christmas gifts are wrapped.
Good job.
Adam and I do have a few things we want to get for Grant, but we've been waiting to when we could go together, and we've just been, like, doing so many other things, or when we have Grant and we don't have babysitters, or because our parents are busy, or we just didn't want to bug them.
Yeah.
So we want to go shopping for Grant together.
You can drop them off with me, and I'll go do my Christmas shopping that I've done hardly any of. No,
I'm
I probably,
so
like,
strong
I'm, like,
to do.
half done. there's a few.
By the time this comes out, you'll probably be fully done.
Let's hope so. Actually, some of my Christmases aren't till later, so I could be like, no, it's still not done.
You're gonna go hit the after Christmas sales.
Yes.
That's what you should do.
No, I feel like a lot of mine is just like I need to get some gift cards for. I know that like gift cards can be controversial and like is it a good gift, but for
It is.
parents and stuff, I don't know. We talked about it last time. I'm more about like the experience, like if they can enjoy something.
You know that they're gonna like what they get because they're gonna pick it out themselves. As long as it's like a fun or unique gift card to a place, maybe they're like, oh, I've been wanting to try it, or if even
Right.
if it's a date night gift card or
Yeah.
something. I love that. I love gift cards, and I'm a gift person, and gifts is my love language.
It is,
So.
and that's why I love this time of year for you. I struggle. I will every once in a while see something random and I'll be like, I should buy that for that person. But gift giving is just not. It's not that I don't like to be generous. I enjoy giving people gifts, but I'm not good at being intentional with gift giving.
Yeah. It is difficult because sometimes, I need to be shopping all year because sometimes you see stuff and you're like, oh, that would be the perfect gift, and then you forget about it when it comes Christmas time. Yeah. I've actually done pretty well this year. I feel like I've come up with creative gifts that I think genuinely, especially parents are the hardest to buy for because they could buy themselves whatever they wanted if they wanted to. But these are things that I'm like, oh, I doubt that they've thought of this, and I know that they would use it, or this would be fun or cool or whatever. So.
Yeah, you know who I'm really good for shopping for?
Yourself.
Yeah.
Me too.
I have been really trying to stop myself, and that's why I didn't even go Black Friday shopping because what do I do? I buy stuff for myself.
Yeah.
I go to every boutique in Aberdeen and load up on clothing that I don't need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I did the other day when my mom and I were doing our Christmas shopping. It was our last Christmas shop. Adam asked me to take pictures of things that I would want in my stocking so that it would make it easier for him. And I was like, yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Should we tell them about the elf that we were struggling to find?
Oh, yeah.
So last weekend, Olivia and I went to, there was a little farmer's market inside of...
Christmas farmer's market.
Yeah. And so then afterwards, I was like, oh, we should go over. There's a boutique across the store from where it was at. And their lady was in there and she was like, yeah, you can get 25% off your entire purchase if you find the elf on the shelf. There's an elf hidden in the store.
Yes. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to find this elf. I'm probably not going to buy anything, but I need to find this elf.
Right. It was a mission.
Yeah. We looked all over that store. We were moving shoe boxes.
Oh my gosh, I was digging inside of things.
At first she just said the elf. And so I was like, okay, what is this elf? After we looked for a little bit, I was like, because there was a lot of gnomes or little elf-looking things.
There were a weird amount of gnomes in there.
Yes. So I was like, am I looking for the elf on the shelf? Is he in the red outfit? And she said, yes. So then I was like, okay, now we know what we're looking for. So then there was a whole red decorated tree in there. I started looking in there to see if he was in there.
We're prying through the tree here.
Another lady was looking, and I was like, at this point we cannot leave without finding this because. And as we were looking for it, JC found something that she wanted to get.
Yeah, because I was looking for red things. I found this sweater that's kind of cute. I think I'm gonna wear it on Christmas.
Yeah, I think it'd be cute.
So then I was mad because it was an $80, $90 sweater?
It was 70 something, right? Or what did you? Yeah,
I think it was 80, and then with the discount, it got down to 60.
Okay.
Does that sound right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't a cheap sweater, but also not I spent more on sweaters probably. But anyway, so then I was now I really need to find this stinking elf. Could not find it. So
yeah,
I basically told the lady, I will pay full price for this, but you have to tell me where the elf is.
Yeah, we're not leaving without knowing. And she was like, I couldn't even find it when I came in this morning. I had to, but another lady found it, and that's how I know where it is.
Yeah, what if...
I was like, you couldn't even find it?
Yeah.
Because the other employees had
crazy. So then she was like, okay, I'll give you, it's in this area. And then Olivia found it.
Yeah.
And she was a very nice lady, and she gave me the 25% off.
Yeah, it was super nice, but I was like, he's literally fully behind these 3 red wooden Santas.
Yeah, you
can
see the very top of his hat.
Yes.
If you really look.
But Santa's also wearing a hat, so I was like, yeah, you had to know that he was back there to see him. I was like, he needs to be peeking out. Although they probably don't want to give the discount to everyone.
True.
So.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It was Where's Waldo on Christmas steroids.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was like, both of us had places we needed to be. We're trying to find this elf.
Casually being late for a photo shoot because I'm trying to find this elf.
Nice.
Also, I feel I'm just fun facting. I have 2 seniors that have not picked out their favorites yet. Other than that, my editing list is completely edited.
Yay!
Feels so good.
A weight lifted.
Yes, and I do need to get theirs done, but that's on them.
Yeah, they haven't picked yet.
They have to pick them. And they both have, already gotten their yearbook ones. They just are apparently indecisive, so.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
Good
ready
job.
for Christmas.
Yeah, now
Cole and I are baking little
enjoy.
gingerbread cookies tonight, and Ashlyn's coming over to do an in-home engagement-y.
Oh, okay, that's what. Did you say that to me earlier?
I just said the cookies. I didn't do
Okay.
the shoe part.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think
Cute.
it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
It'll be cute.
I like it.
Plus, I'll bring you some cookies if they're good.
Please do. I love a good cookie. I'm actually hungry for one right now. Oh, wait. Why is neither...
Oh, you didn't turn it on.
It's on. It's recording.
No, you didn't turn this on.
Okay, well, we have the camera audio, so there's at least that.
Oh.
So now the
Oh,
audio should be
no.
better. I apologize to everyone who's only listening and not looking at us, because I feel like sometimes the audio could be okay if you're looking at us. Again, I don't even have my mic on top of the camera. It's all right. It'll be fine.
It's okay. The Christmas
if you-
story will be in good audio.
Yes, if you're listening on the podcast format and you're wondering.
Maybe we should put this in the show notes, like skip ahead to this time.
Yeah,
if you
if
don't
you
want
want
poor
good
audio quality.
All you're going to miss is us chit-chatting away.
It's fine. It was just me talking about an elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we get started with the Christmas story?
We shall.
I would like to preface, I typically read my Bible, the King James Version. I think that some people struggle with listening to that, so I'm sorry.
Oh, but she's like, but we're going
But
to.
I'm doing it anyway. Okay, Luke 2. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, every one to his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David. To
Just like that first part makes me just think of like every pageant, like Christmas pageant, where they like start and it like shows them or whatever.
Yes, like the
very just
nostalgic.
yeah.
Yes. And I also, for some reason, think of Snoopy.
Yes.
Because Snoopy
Charlie Brown.
started their little Charlie Brown play,
Yeah.
like with this playing, which is kind of cool, actually, when you think about it. Okay. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for him in the inn. Wild.
Yeah. So first of all, let's just talk about, if you read the like pretext to this of Mary finding out that she's going to have a child. One, if anyone this day and age, an angel presented itself to him, first of all, I don't know how anyone this day and age would react. They think
Mary would be up on TikTok and be like, you guys, guess what happened?
she's doing a live. She's like, guys, I got Gabriel here.
Well, she was like 14 or 15.
Yeah. First of all, so young in today's society.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I don't even know how I would react if an angel, some people would probably think that it was like
She obviously was very mature and she was very, like,
it's probably
God
chose
obviously
her.
chose her for a reason. And so she was probably just a very, like, upstanding young girl.
Yeah.
Who clearly was being raised well.
Does she need to be worshipped? No.
No.
She's just a human.
But obviously God chose to let his son be born of someone who he
and
deemed worthy.
What an honor. Wow.
Yeah.
But, like, I just can't even imagine being like, oh, okay, I'm wholly impregnated. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then your fiance
I mean, she was
has
a virgin.
Yeah.
So a
But-
virgin, not a, like, pretend.
No, like,
Virgin.
legitimately. But so many people probably did not believe that she was
No.
after that.
No one, that would have been the hardest part. And I think that's probably why she went and lived with her cousin Elizabeth for a while. Because can you imagine, like, I mean, even teenage pregnancies now get a lot of, like, judgment. Mm-hmm. And it's like.
As they should.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't recommend, but.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like, here's this girl who's like living a holy life, who is like
Betrothed.
right. And all of a sudden now you have all of the shame. Like that would be a lot to carry.
Yeah. Luckily, Joseph also was presented with an angel came to him, and he, was
He's a stand-up dude.
yeah, stayed with her as he should.
Again,
But God knew this. Knew that
Right.
this was they had this character and they could handle it.
Right. I just cannot imagine. Also, so I just actually finished, it was called Luke in the Land, a Bible study. And she filmed in Israel the whole series. So then she would take us to places. And she was saying how when it says there was no room in the inn, and she was like talking about like the words and what they meant in Hebrew. And I was like, wait, is it Hebrew? In Hebrew. And she was saying how a lot of times, and she went, like, they were in Bethlehem, and she's like, it wasn't probably like necessarily a cave or just like a barn. A lot of homes, it was like they were built in these caves where people lived upstairs, and then the basement or like the walk-in level was a lot of times where they would keep their sheep and their oxen and like all that stuff.
Interesting.
And so, like, what they think is because Bethlehem was such a small town, and this is just her speculation, you guys, because it was such a small town, they were probably just staying with family, but because there wasn't room, and, like, birth was looked at as a very, like, not clean thing in Jewish culture, and so they think they're probably like, oh, they probably just made them go down into, like, the barn underneath where they kind of were, like, staying.
Yeah. And again, all part of God's plan. He wanted his son to come in the
like such
into
humble,
the humble, lowliest.
Yeah,
like to just prove like a king was born in this. That's the other thing. Like Mary having to fully pregnant and ready to give birth, literally as soon as they got there, riding on a donkey through. I don't know what the weather's like this time. I mean, I guess it wasn't necessarily
right. We don't
this time of year. We don't really.
I
know,
also found it very interesting, and again, I think she was taking liberty in the study, but she was like, "Where does it say she was riding on a donkey?"
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like they might have had a donkey. She said having a donkey in that culture would have been a very wealthy thing. And she's like, they probably were traveling. Everyone makes it sound like they were going alone. They probably were traveling with a group of people because Joseph's all of his family had to travel there. So they were with family.
Yeah.
Like, and like it also doesn't say like
it's like an Oregon Trail deal. All traveling together.
So like I think that we make it look like this, like I think of like the flight to Egypt, they're completely alone, or I think of like them going to Bethlehem, they're completely alone, the two of them, and it's like they were
and
probably
that's how it's portrayed in like a lot of like children's books or plays or whatever. But it probably was.
They were probably all with family. They were if Joseph's entire family had to go to Bethlehem to be taxed, why wouldn't he be with his brothers and parents and all that stuff?
Yeah. But still, regardless, they didn't have like I mean, I don't know what they had for transportation. Right. If you're that far pregnant, honestly, might have made her labor a little bit easier because I've heard that, you know, the walking.
Yeah.
It helps progress things.
True.
But
no, just like walking that many miles, I'd have to look it up. It's a trek.
Yeah. Maybe being pregnant with Jesus was like an easier pregnancy.
He was he wasn't kicking her bladder. Yeah. He was being a good child. Yeah. No sin. Okay, I will keep reading. 8. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign to you, ye shall find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. That would have been
terrifying. Well, that's why they say, don't be afraid.
Wild. Like, you think of, like, how the Northern Lights captivate people, and you're just like, whoa. Can you even imagine an entire, does it say, like, how many? It just says one angel?
An angel of the Lord, right?
Yeah, so one came, and then didn't a bunch, maybe I need to keep reading.
Yeah,
Isn't it like
I think there's, like,
later?
A chorus of angels or something, but there's the one main one.
Oh, yeah, and suddenly there was... with the angel, a multitude of heavenly hosts praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
Yeah, see, I can almost quote this. That's how.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't even... I'm sure they were shaking in their boots.
I still run when I shut the lights off at night coming up the stairs.
I literally do the same.
Like, I am such a fraidy pants, like scaredy pants, anything like that. Like, I'd be just like grabbing my sheep, like, take the sheep, not
like,
me.
The angel's like, do not be afraid. I'm like, that's what a psychopath killer would say. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't think an angel was a psychopath killer.
But they also lived, like, I can't remember. I think Rodney was talking about a church on Sunday, how, like, from the point when Jesus was born, there'd been so much silence. Like, there hadn't been, like, very many prophets. There hadn't been, like, angels. There hadn't been miracles. Like, it'd been a long time since there'd been all of...
But they had all of these prophecies that they were just waiting to be fulfilled. But it had been silent.
And so... more
silent.
Yeah, so it's like you don't really hear a lot before that, and it's like Mary and Joseph probably didn't grow up with their parents saying like, oh yeah, we usually saw angels, or like we did what, like, yeah
no, it's all
crazy.
God was saving it for his son.
But so cool. That had to be just like, I can only imagine what the sky looked like,
right?
As someone who loves the sky and just like sunsets and just like northern lights and stars and stuff, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, that had to be amazing.
Yeah, I wonder how like animals reacted to that. Like, were they just because animals have more of a
like a sense when it comes to
like God,
like if right,
and
if
like,
or if it's
in the ocean and all of that. Like, did they just be still?
Oh
and
yeah,
down
they might just be still. Like in his
is,
presence.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
It's not probably important.
Because you think about like if it's a storm, like animals know to like move to like high ground or like know to do things.
To hunker down.
Yeah. Okay. And it came to pass when the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, let us go even unto Bethlehem and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known to us. And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph with the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning the child.
What does that mean?
I think it means like they'd made known abroad. So like they were like telling everyone and everyone.
He was born and he was
they were
the king.
TikTok living.
They were like, yo, listen up, Jesus. It's your
Jesus
lowly
is
shepherds. Jesus has arrived. He is going to be
They're like, we're going to get so much
kings.
clout from this.
No, but again, just the lowly shepherds.
Yeah,
like,
they were the first ones to know. Like, not the scribes, not the Pharisees, not the king. Like, it was shepherds, the lowliest of people.
Yeah.
And they were probably
farmer.
Jews, but like, obviously he came for the Jews and the Gentiles.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, and when they heard it, they wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. So, like, people are hearing and they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But Mary kept all of these things and pondered them in her heart. I cannot imagine what she was feeling at that point.
Yeah, she's like, it's like the song, Mary, did you know? Yes, she knew.
Yeah.
She knew. She probably felt all the pressure. Do you think this is not, biblical, because it doesn't matter, but like Mary and Joseph had like 7 other kids, or they had a lot of other kids.
I know they had multiple, like Jesus had multiple half siblings.
Yes.
I don't know how many.
Half.
Yeah, they were only Mary's.
What? They weren't Joseph's?
Yeah, but he wasn't from Joseph.
Right. And he's not from Mary either. But like, so they're just his siblings.
He is from Mary though. He had to have Mary's DNA.
Fully human. Yeah, it flows through you.
He had to have had Mary's DNA, and he was Christ, like he was God.
But he looked at Joseph as his earthly father.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he had multiple other siblings.
Yeah.
How did Mary not just excuse me, this is God's son?
Like pick favorites. Especially he was like,
well, she don't.
Not that he was
Jesus,
a perfect child, but like.
But yes, he was.
Well, he was, but like I'm sure he still
had to cry to let her know.
Right. I'm sure he still caused, like when he was in the synagogue and they left. Yeah. And like she was like so worried about like where he was.
But he's like, why would you? Yeah.
Right. He wasn't doing anything wrong, or like sinful necessarily.
Yes, but he did cause his parents stress. But that was on them. But I just think about that sometimes. Like, oh, do you think how could she not favoritism Jesus. But he probably was like, no, Mom, take care of your other kids. No. I don't know. It's just funny
Mother,
to think about. It's not important at all.
Fear
but I
not
do
for
think
my
about it.
well-being.
Yeah.
I'm protected by the Father. You should actually worry about your other kids.
He's like, no, Mother, I'll change my phone nappy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think too, like, just a crazy experience. I don't think we'll ever fully be able to like
but also just
understand
like,
it.
And maybe there was just a peace over Mary that surpasses
That's
all
true.
understanding with like raising Jesus and stuff. But the pressure that you feel just raising a kid and making, am I doing this right? Am I doing,
Yeah. Or like the whole like Mary Did You Know song, like that would be like, just think like she knew that her son was going to have to die for her sins. Like that's a big bite to chew.
Yeah.
Anyway,
swallow.
Yes. Okay. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, and it was told unto them. And when the 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Jesus, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her purification according to the law of Moses were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. That's why I was talking about, like, it was viewed as a very, like, not clean thing, like birth. So, like, her days of purification.
Got you. Because
like
after birth.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is like, but like you bleed for quite a while after you give birth.
Yeah, it depends on the birth in the woman, but most of the time it's like at least a week after.
Yeah. Which 8 days.
You can bleed for up to 3 months after.
Right. So 8 days he was circumcised, and then it says after purification. So it was probably longer than 8 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also just like so cool. Like, can you imagine when like now we're like, oh, you get to do a gender reveal, like find out the gender. Like she literally knew it was a male and his name was Jesus before he was even conceived.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. There's so much cool. I mean, like there's the whole with her cousin.
Elizabeth,
and carrying John, and like how he literally leapt in her womb because he knew it was Jesus. Like just cool things that God did throughout that story.
So cool. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. Oh, that's interesting. So Grant is holy to the Lord.
Interesting. So because he was,
but I'm not, because I was a female.
Yeah, God's like JC. Just kidding.
And to offer a sacrifice according to that which was said in the law of the Lord, a pair of turtle doves and two young pigeons. And behold, there was.
Where that comes from? The turtle doves.
Oh, maybe. I guess I never thought of that.
Me either. Just
in a partridge. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon, and the same man was just and devout, waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Ghost was upon him. And it was revealed unto him by the Holy Ghost that he should not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ. And he came by the Spirit into the temple, and when the parents brought the child, Jesus, to do for him after the customs of the law, then took he him in his arms and blessed God and said, Lord, now lettest thou my servant depart in peace according to thy word, for my eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people.
So wait, who is this guy?
This is Simeon. He was a prophet, I think.
Okay, so God was like, you're not going to die until you've seen the Christ. And then he saw him and he was like, okay, now. Now
also, I don't know how far I need to go. Is that like kind of just the end? Like,
yeah, the wise men, that's later, right? Jesus was technically.
Fun fact, the wise men should not be in your nativity scene.
They are in mine.
Sometimes I'll like put mine off to the west.
They're like, they're traveling.
They're traveling
3 years
to come see Jesus.
They'll get here in March.
Yeah.
My nativity's gone. They're still there.
I leave them out. They were still traveling.
So like because then they stayed in Bethlehem. Or did they go back? Oh, I should know where Jesus grew up.
Well, here. Okay, I'll go back to where I was at. I guess I could just keep reading. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay.
You guys have to keep listening.
Okay. For my eyes have seen that salvation, which has been prepared. Okay, I read that. A light to lighten the Gentiles and the glory of thy people Israel. And Joseph and his mother marveled at those things which were spoken of him. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary, his mother, Behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. Yea, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was one, Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Penuel of the tribe of Aser. She was of great age and had lived with an husband 70 years from her virginity. So she was probably in her 80s. And she was a widow. Oh, so poor man's already died. For she was a widow about 84 years. Oh, that's 88. Fun fact. Which departed from the temple, but served God with fasting and prayers night and day. And she, coming in that instant, gave thanks likewise unto the Lord, and spake of him all of them that looked for redemption in Jerusalem. And when they had performed all things according to the law of the Lord, they returned into Galilee, into their own city, Nazareth.
Okay.
That's where he was raised.
Where
Because
Nazareth.
Yeah, like Jesus of Nazareth.
So then when the wise men came, they came and saw him in Nazareth. They did not see him in the stable or the barn or cave, whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even know if the wise men get mentioned here. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year for the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the customs of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, this is when, like, we were talking about, like, Jesus stayed back.
At the temple
and then this is the first, like, thing that it's when Mary was like, did you not know we were looking for you? And he goes, why did you look for me? Did you not know that I'm about my Father's business? Don't worry about it, Mary. He's doing the work of God. They don't even, so Luke's account doesn't even talk about the wise men. So it must be in one of the other gospels that they talk about the wise men.
Must.
If you guys would like to do some digging,
it up on your own.
You can do that. But that was fun. Now that I'm adult, I don't get to hear.
Now that I'm adult. Now that you don't live with your parents anymore.
Yeah. Like,
and
I don't.
You are an adult.
Right.
Just the way you said I'm adult.
Both things.
Yes.
I have adult. I have purse. Yeah.
You don't have it read to you.
Right. I don't have it read to me.
You should just sleep over at your parents this year. It'll be your last year not married.
Yeah. I wonder if I did last year. I feel like I did last year because I think I did because I got up really early to make the prime rib.
Oh.
I'll have to request that. Dad, you need to read this to me. I'm a 32-year-old child.
You're like, I'm getting married this next year. And so it's time for you to
one
give me
more.
away again. Yeah. No, I would totally
So
do
off
that.
topic. Should my dad walk me down the aisle?
It's between you and him, I suppose.
I would talk to him about it.
Yeah. Because I would
We're
say
doing so much like
right
untraditional.
Yeah, but if you
then
like
I'm
that
like
tradition, if like you wanted your dad to approve of Cole.
Yeah.
Yes. You would say that because since you've been divorced, as your dad been like the main man in your life, that like you would
like
he would probably feel like protective of you once again.
Yeah. And I'm
So
close
that's
with
him
my dad.
giving that responsibility to Cole back. Like to give
That's true. Yeah.
So that's kind of what that
I also thought like
exchange
I could
is.
have my parents walk me down. I don't know, but then also like I could just walk myself down.
Yeah.
I could have Piper walk me down.
You could talk to
I
your
don't
parents.
know.
Maybe your dad's gonna be like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I think if I said to my
But you are
dad,
a
do you
daddy's
want
girl,
to?
like,
I think he'd be like, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'll talk to him about it. I was just like thinking about it the other day.
I love the symbolism of it, but like,
yes,
obviously you're in a not traditional situation,
right?
But I don't think that's.
I don't think you can't do it.
No.
I saw a weird. I don't know. Again, like I get it's all symbolic of like when you used to like actually like give her away for a dowry and like
right.
It was a lot of arranged marriages and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm like I think it's a cute gesture, but I don't think that it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's probably biblical. Like,
no.
I mean, they talk about like the two becoming one, but they don't really talk about like.
Yeah, because marriage is, God created it as a symbol of his relationship with the church, with his people. And so it's a really important holy thing. I don't know if holy thing is the right word, but it's like a God-centered thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends on.
I'll have to do some thinking.
I will say I don't like the whole feminist movement of like, I own myself and I'll walk myself down the aisle, blah, blah. Like, okay, if your dad
Tell me that you have daddy issues without telling me you have daddy issues.
There was some girls that are like influencers or whatever that they didn't have their dad walk them down the aisle, and their dad is very like prominent in their life, like good, and he was like, totally, if that's what you want to do, kind of thing. I was like, whoosh.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just think I'm not for the whole.
I think if you have reasons behind doing it,
like if
that maybe
you don't
aren't
have a good dad and you have an abusive dad, or you had whatever. There's definitely reasons, like in your situation, whatever. But the people who are just like, I'm my own woman, blah, blah, whatever, and have a good dad who was, a good dad.
Yeah. And even if you do it sheerly for the fact that you know your dad, it means a lot to him.
Yeah. Now, if your dad's like, oh, I don't want to walk down the aisle, that's a different thing, too.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything to him.
True.
I'm going on a tangent.
Yeah, random tangent.
The
podcast till May
one day was like, Dad, I don't want you to walk me down the aisle. I'd be like, shut your mouth, child.
Get out the soap bar.
Down the aisle. Okay, you're not getting married. No, just kidding.
We're not paying for it unless Adam's walking you down the aisle. The next 5 months will just be like side tangents of me being like, do you think you should do this for the wedding? And it's going to be bombarded on the podcast.
That's fine.
It's fine.
That's how we started this podcast.
That's true. It was supposed to be wedding content to begin with.
So. We're back at it. 2025.
Okay, guys, we hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
I hope that you enjoyed listening to
the reason for the season.
Yes.
Even though it probably wasn't in this season at all. And I know some people get bent up about like, it probably wasn't even in December and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, this is when we choose to celebrate it.
Yes. It does not mean that this is when it happened.
Right.
40 and so many years ago.
40 and 4.
2025 years ago. Just kidding.
Yeah. 2025 years ago? No, we have no idea. Well, I mean, the year is probably the year is accurate.
Yes.
The time
frame
is probably a little
right
janky. Also, oh my gosh, I'm going to go off on it again. Jesus was 33 when he died. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be 33 next year. And I was like, can you imagine
and how much he did
in those 33 I'm years. Like, girl,
his ministry didn't start till he was 30, right?
Oh.
No. Am I right about that?
Phone a friend. All I was thinking is that I should maybe do more with my life.
Okay. I found this on
30.
Okay. Good job. Yeah. So I guess his ministry was only 3 years.
I mean, like his going out to all the different places.
Right. Like doing the miracles and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very crazy.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys. We are probably going to take like a little bit of a break and be back.
An easy break. And we'll come back in the new year and tell you what's in and out for us.
The new year. Yeah. Should we do our ins and outs again?
Yeah.
My goal for the year was supposed to be being cuter when I'm on camera, but I was at a hot yoga class before this, so that didn't
Also,
happen.
I don't think you don't look cute. And we were hardly ever on camera this year, let's be honest.
True. Okay.
Towards the end again.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Merry Christmas.